the old fella on my right here, Ronnie Davis, who's his trainer. Chris has got a fight on next week, 25th of October, at the Echo Arena in Liverpool, on the undercard of the Paul Butler super flyweight fight, and the various championship fights that are on that card, including the European Flyweight Championship between Valerie Yanchi and Kevin Satchel, and Liam Smith's fight against Zoltan Sierra, which is for the vacant WBA Continental Light Middleweight title. Derry Matthews is also on there in a WBA Continental Lightweight Championship against Adam Dinsdale from Hui in Kent, and we've got the vacant WBO European Light Welterweight title between Tom Stalker and Jack Catterall, which is a cracking fight, one I'm looking forward to. Chris was due to fight Jez Wilson, who pulled out the fight, and we're now looking for an opponent. That's as of this morning. So we're now looking for another opponent for him. So we'll announce the opponent as soon as we can. Obviously, I'm going to be straight about it. I'm looking for the easiest fight I can find for him. I don't want no upsets. I want him to come through this fight so we can get the big one on. Anyway, all the guys are here. I'm sure you've got a lot of questions to ask after all these months. Yeah. So let's get on.
Can I ask you, Frank, if Chris Jr.'s opponent pulled out on Saturday, why haven't you tried at all?
Well, because the bottom line is that's what we agreed, and that's what what we signed for. So that's what we're going to do. That's the fight, and personally, I'd prefer that not to happen, because anything can happen in a fight. But it's that's where we are. That was what the terms were, to make sure that Chris gets these 2 fights before the end of the year.
I'm a fighter. That's what I do. I fight. So it doesn't matter that I've got this fight on the 29th. The fact is that I want to be out as much as possible, and whoever they put in front of me, I guess you could call it a warm-up fight, but it's all progress, it's all experience, and it's all going to help me to progress my career. So as many fights as possible. That's what I want.
Was it upset your preparation not knowing who you were going to fight?
I'm not upset at all. The guys pulled out. That's boxing. I've had people pull out fights in my entire career, and in the amateurs as well. It's something that I've learned to deal with, and that's why I spar so many different types of opponents, because you never know what's going to happen. So I've been sparring southpaws, I've been sparring tall guys, short guys, fat guys, skinny guys. It doesn't matter. So I'm ready for anyone to put in front of me.
Which obviously is the life of a fighter. He's supposed to be sparring all the time. He's supposed to be sparring all the time, and he is doing just that. So,
can you just talk us through your training preparation at the moment?
Talk you through it.
What do you do on a day to day?
It's on a day to day. I'm putting the most effort in as I can. Obviously. This fight is 2 weeks away, so I've been in the gym. I've been in the gym for the last 2 months. Really, I was over in the States training with Floyd Mayweather and Money Team for a month. I got back a few weeks ago, so I've been in the gym non-stop. Really, had great sparring out there, and I've had decent sparring out here. I'm in the gym every day, running every day. I'm fit. I'm ready. I'll be ready to fight tomorrow if I had to. So
I'd like to add to that really, if you add it together, he really hasn't had breaks. So he's been training for 9 years for this fight, which Jez Wilson has pulled out. Never mind Billy Joe Saunders. There hasn't been any breaks. I think he's taken a 7-day break, and I should probably give him a bit more breaks.
We're not supposed to mention Billy Joe Saunders.
Oh no, we can.
Oh, we can?
Yeah, I'll tell you why.
Good.
I spoke to Mr. Smith, Robert Smith, and he said the fight has been sanctioned.
Told you it would be.
He told me, but I had to get it in. We have to keep to the contract, right?
Done. Yeah.
We've got to keep to the contract.
Well, I wrote the contract.
Have you?
No,
4 times. 4 times you've breached it, but that's okay.
Yeah,
that's okay.
Have you got your fight? Have you got your fight?
We've got the fight.
Did we deliver the fight?
Thank you, Frank.
Good. So let's talk about it. Get Bill on. He's here, Bill. He's hiding behind that cupboard. Let's see what he's got to say. The 25th, we know where we are. We know what we're doing. Chris has brought it up. It's good to talk. Then it's good to talk. Let's get him on. Let's talk about it, because that's the fight that counts. That's the one that we're in. Bill's in Spain. He's had to go training. We're trying to get everyone together, and we're not doing that. But we're here now. This is being Skyped, by the way.
Can't hear you, Chris. You guys have got to get a better Skype connection.
We are, no, you're right. It's not very good. Can somebody do something with, or translate? Can you hear us, Bill?
Yeah, but he said, why can't you talk when I was at the press conference 3 weeks ago?
Because the contract wasn't.
Yeah.
You will stop fighting dead body, bringing around you and asking one star and one fight. Boy, if you've got very balls, get a really find yourself on block. And lay around trainers, come to fight me in the ring. Don't run around scared of a little pussy what you are. Look at your old dad there. What? Look at him. Look, he's showing you. Don't fight me, you got no balls. You're a little boy.
The contract is signed. There's no doubt that the fight's going to happen. You know, like I said, the contract. There's no deadlines. There's no pressure.
I'll give you 20 grand not to fight Liverpool. How about that? You can pay me £20,000 not to fight.
I can't hear you, Bill.
What he's saying, he said, I think he said, I'll give you 20 grand not to fight in Liverpool, in case anything goes wrong. That's what he said.
I don't want you criticism. The public don't want you make an excuse, you burn your finger,
There's no
or
excuse.
instill you your ass. We want the fight to make what happens. So I'll give you 20 grand not to fight Liverpool. You're not ill today. And I'll have the money in your account by the end of the day. You're not in your account.
There's no excuses, Bill. The fight's going to happen regardless of what I do on the 20th.
If you take your grenade out, practice you back and talk. You want me to talk to you? You want to do that? Mr. Eubank, do you want 20 grand in your son's account today if you're not fighting Liverpool?
No, we
You don't you do. Listen, all the more people are going to be responsible. They want you to feed as much as you can from it. Don't want you to do that.
this is ridiculous. We can't hear him.
Okay.
You're not audible.
I'll tell you what he said. He said,
This is cheap, man.
do you want to put 20 grand here, send 20 grand to your account today, so you don't fight in Liverpool, so you're not out of pocket, just in case anything goes wrong. That's what he just
I
said.
don't need this guy's money. He needs to actually save as much money as he can, because after the 29th, he's not going to have a career. So keep your money, and I'll see you on the 29th.
I'm with your partner now. Who your partner? I'm with you now, yeah? I don't want you to get in and around, yeah? So what I'm going to do is I'm just telling you here, yeah? Here he is here. He's here now. So he has to 32 back, yeah? This is your opponent. This is your next opponent, Liverpool. I'll give you 20 grand on 14. You want that?
Right, it's a shame we're getting a problem here with this Skype thing, but the bottom line of all is, you know, young Christopher fights next week, on the 25th, and then this fight's on. As Chris said, now it's okay. He wants to talk about it. That's the fight that all the fans are interested in. It's captured the imagination of all the boxing fans, and I think it's going to be one of those crossover fights that gets the general public involved. And it's a great fight. Two really good quality young fighters, both undefeated, and there's so much to go for in this fight.
Can I say one thing, please?
You can say what you like.
I know that only getting hurt because when he comes out, he's going to have a bad temper and bad hand. I don't even look. Listen, don't look at the floor. Look at me. Look at me when I'm talking to you. Don't look at the floor. Yeah, I'm not going to put in your face. Yeah, I'm just going to. So you don't look at you and discuss and stuff. Then you can look at him. You can't play in the ring. You know you're going to get big, and I know I'm going to have to do it, and you know that as well. Just like a fight. I have 20 grand in your brain today, not to fight Liverpool. Fight me.
As
Okay.
I said, well, we don't need your money. We don't need your money. You're going to get on the 29th after I've dealt with Jez Wilson or whoever they put in front of me, and then I'm going to send you out your responses.
Okay, so this is not audible, and now it's becoming ridiculous. So I want you to shut this down. Can you shut this down now?
I can't shut down. I'm not going to shut
Can
down.
you close the?
No.
Well, what's so?
Well,
It's inaudible. Who can hear? Who can understand?
I can hear it. I can understand it.
Chris, listen, I'm going to do your son with everyone that you did, mate. School, yeah, I'm going to be back. It's going to be painful for you to watch. I'm out here now. I'm very distracted.
What more? Can you? We can't talk over this. Is it? It's inaudible.
Listen, if you found something on TV, you're going to be like in the ring with me. Come on, man. Go on, Minnie. Come on.
Can we
Right.
talk then?
So you can talk. He's talking now. You can talk.
We can't discuss.
Well,
It's
what
inaudible.
we want to do, Bill, we want to let the press, if they've got any questions to ask.
Well, no,
That's what it is,
Well,
press.
no, we would like to respond.
We'll respond, yes.
Okay.
sure,
Well,
go on.
first of all, the £20,000, as kind a gesture as it is, yeah, what we need is the fights, because we're building Christopher to be a world champion of superior standard, and for that he has to have the fights. So it's not about money. Right now, it isn't about money. It's about building him to being a fighter that can actually serve Great Britain in the way sportsmen used to, and put the.
You're not going to do that at any point.
Come on.
Right.
Okay.
Bill,
You've had your.
let him just say what he's got to say, then everyone can speak one at a time.
So it's not the money we need the fights. And that's why I've been pressing Frank since we began to co-promote together, I've been pressing Frank for the fights. We need the fights because Christopher is being built into a super fighter. He's followed the code, he has been relentless, and what you haven't seen from him is rubbish. Okay, he's been built. And you know, what's going to happen on that night, at the XL Arena, the best man is going to win. You know, we wish him what he deserves, and so too we wish Christopher what he deserves. Each will get what they've worked for.
If you're not tempted to take the 20 grand.
Oh, absolutely not. We need to fight. It's not money we need. We need to build him into a fighter that's going to actually represent the United Kingdom around the entire globe. And I should think you would want that. You know, as a media and as a public, you'd want someone built into a fighter that can actually challenge the globe, and that's what we're doing. So it's not the money we need the fight. That's why you must provide that opponent on the 25th.
Yes.
And if you wanna talk about money, I'm getting paid more than that for the fight anyway. So 20 grand it doesn't make sense. I need the fights, and you know, it's a stepping stone fight. It's just gonna get me ready for this guy. So it's you know, there is no excuses. There's no I'm gonna get injured and then pull out. Never. I fought my second professional fight. I fought with one hand for the entire 6 rounds, and that was my second professional fight. So you know, come rain or shine, whether I'm injured or not, the fight's going to happen. It has to.
Because
Well, and you're right, it is that done, but what I don't you to do is to come back and say, oh, this is your finger, or your arms are in it, the whole in public will know. Nobody else, because you just want to not me up, so let's see what the better man is on the 29th. I just don't want you pulling out no injury.
We will see the better man is.
Don't complete boxing whether it's free with me. It's the start for you to take a fight when you're fighting me 4 weeks after. It just don't make any sense. It's that in itself. That your bomb's going on.
How much longer, Frank?
you just said yours. He's saying his. Right. So tell me this is where we are. He's obviously not. You know, that's not going to happen, Bill. What you're suggesting? I think it's a good suggestion, but it's not going to happen. So Christopher's going to fight on the 25th. We will sort an opponent out. Hopefully, he comes through that fight okay. We don't. You know, that's my only concern.
There's no hope about it.
No, I'm just saying. You know, things happen in fights. But you come through okay. Then the most important thing is that this fight is on the 29th, because the 29th is one of the best cards I think I've seen in Britain for a long, long time. Real good quality fights.
Frank, would you say that Saunders Eubank Jr is now superseded Fury and Chisora in the public interest? I'm not talking about boxing people, I'm talking about generally.
I don't know. I mean, you know, there's been a lot of interest, obviously, in with Derek and Tyson Fury. But again, I think that what's happened with Billy Joe and with young Christopher, is that it's known about it in boxing circles. But I think if we can promote this properly, and everybody works together promoting this properly, there's a crossover effect, and that crossover effect will be great for the fighters, because that's when they suddenly become household names, big stars, and that's where we are, and that's what we're working on.
What I'd like to add to that is the fact that, in my view, Mr. Hart.
Call me Colin, please.
Okay, Colin, thank you.
Call him sir.
Billy has already made the fight bigger than the Tyson Fury Chisora fight. He's done that by the things he has said. And what's going to happen now, he will, as Christopher will, have to prove what we are all looking at, who is the better fighter. So the fight is already bigger than Chisora and Tyson.
But let me just say that things that have to happen for this fight to promote it, because Bill's on there, and as you quite rightly say, it's a bad line, and it's, you know, sometimes it's a little bit inaudible. We have to have the press conferences with the two guys together, so that the press can get what they want out of it, and we can, as promoters, be able to promote the show. That's what we want. We want the photographs of them together. We want to be able to promote this. There's a lot on the line for us as promoters, and we're working very hard to do it. And it's, you know, we kept him, how long, Bill? For months now over here. He's gone off to his training camp, and you can understand why. But going forward for this, we have to have proper access for the press, for the TV, to turn this into the fight it deserves to be. It doesn't deserve to be pushed over, kept quiet, and all the nonsense that goes on. We need proper press for it, so that the guys can train and be 100% when they get in the ring. But we can sell this fight properly.
That said, something that I said after an interview was that Christopher was going to change the game. Now, a lot of people obviously thought I was talking about boxing. Boxing, indeed, I think he will. But from a contractual point of view, he's already changed the game in that he hasn't actually spoken about this particular fight, because it would have been in breach of the contract. That's how he's changing the game. And he's going to inspire other fighters to do just the same.
Well, I don't even know what that means.
Would you think this fight with Billy Joe Saunders is now bigger than the Tyson Fury?
I mean, going from what I've heard, from what people are telling me, and from the social media responses, this is the one everyone's talking about. You know, obviously Chisora and Fury is a big fight, but they've already fought. So this is a brand new. This is a new era. This is a new fight. So I think that's what's got people excited. They don't know what I'm going to bring to the table. They hear everything that this guy's saying, and they want to see if they can back it up. So I think it is a bigger fight.
How excited are you to have this fight and to be involved in a fight that is so anticipated and so?
It's great. You know, I think it's 30,000 people is going to be at the XL Arena, something like that. That's the number I heard. I'm not sure that's true or not, but you know, this.
I hope so.
Yeah, you know, it's going to be a huge event. It's going to be great, and to be in a rivalry. This is something that every boxer dreams of, being against somebody that the whole British public wants to see beat, and you know, there's some serious emotions, public emotions going into this fight. So it's going to be serious. And you know, it's one of those things where I'm going to be fighting for the British, the Commonwealth, and the European, and all in one. And it's going to be beautiful to be able to take those 3 belts home.
You've all the tales from your old man about him and Nigel Benn and Steve Collins, and it's finally good to be involved in one of these kind of matchups yourself.
Of course, yeah. You know, obviously growing up, I saw his rivalries. And you know, I always dreamed about having my own. But to be honest, you know, those fighters that he fought, Ben and the Watsons, they're a different caliber to this guy. This guy is not even half of what they were. So really and truly, it's not the same. But the public, they still want to see the fight. So you know, it's going to be explosive.
We want to make sure that you don't have any injuries, and you don't bring Frank off the bit and start saying, making changes and listen, have you signed the fight then, yeah?
I've signed the contract, and even if I had no eyes, I'd still beat you. So don't worry about my injuries.
I've signed the contract. The biggest thing here is that the public doesn't get that. We don't want the British public walking down, tearing us down.
It's not coming through, Bill.
You and your language has already let the British public down. And we're going to see to it that we correct just that.
Everybody's done on about. So let's make it happen. But let's not be running around.
We're not running from you, we're running to you, young man. We're running you to you.
Ronnie, is this, Ronnie, is this history repeating itself for you?
Yeah, to a certain extent, but I never heard Chris Senior badmouth anyone. He never, nor did I. We was like to think we were gentlemen, you know. You didn't have to tell me. I don't like all this rubbish talk. I don't like it. There's no need of it. One come from us.
Well, to be fair, I mean, it's been going both ways with the Twitters and all that. You know, there's been a lot of things said, but that's it, and that's probably what the fans have seen. The Twitter stuff is what's got everybody at it. So let's be honest about that. And you're right, Ron. I mean, this fight doesn't need bad. I mean, it's called bad blood, but it doesn't need, you know, for the two guys to be, you know, getting at it before the fight. It is a great fight. The public know about it now. There's a lot of aspects to it, you know. When you look at Bill, he's trained by Jimmy Tibbs, so old adversary of yours as a trainer. There's that side of it. They've crossed swords
5 times.
5 times.
He's a corner to me, and 5 times his boxers lost. No disrespect to Jimmy Tibbs.
Well, we'll see what happens this time round. You know, Bill. One thing I know about Billy Joe Saunders, and I've watched both the guys very closely. One thing I know about Bill is he needs a challenge, mental challenge to fight, and he's done that in a couple of fights where, like for example, that Jared Fletcher, who he fought, he went as the underdog. They all thought Fletcher was going to do a job on him. He absolutely done a job on Fletcher, as we all know, went on and become quite a decent fighter. And Christopher at the moment, young Christopher's done everything's been asked of him, but he's not fought at the same level as Bill, and that's what the unknown quantity is about this fight.
I'm the best British middleweight in the country right now.
You've done everything. I'm not criticising you at all. That's what we will find out on the 29th. The best middleweight, who's the best British, Commonwealth and European middleweight will be determined on the 29th. That's when we're going to know, and that's what makes this fight so exciting. That's why it's so intriguing, and that's why me as a fan can't wait to see it. I can't wait to see this fight.
Frank, Billy's mandatory for a world title at the moment. If Chris wins, or if even Billy wins, the winner fight for a world title next?
If Bill wins, the agreement with the WBO is that he will challenge the winner of Andy Lee and Kobarov for the title. If it was to go the other way, that's up to them to make their decision. But you know, Bill, that's all done and dusted, and and provided, obviously, Bill does what what he says he's going to do and what we think he can do. So it's going to be a very interesting time. It's a big carrot for him. You know, it's not just the one fight; it's the world title fight comes afterwards.
Right. Bill's also said if he loses, he's going to retire. He's going to do that with that.
Well, that's what he said, and you know. People say things, but I don't think he's thinking about losing. But he just said yes.
Chris, can I ask you, would you have liked to have been in this position earlier in your career? Why that didn't happen?
The position I'm in now is the perfect timing. You know, as I said in the past, there's no rushing, there's no deadlines when it comes to my career. Everything is done when we want it to be done, and we want this fight now, and it's happening now, so everything's on track.
But you're going to train for the Saunders. You're not going out of the country again, right?
I don't need to go overseas and do any special camps to beat this guy. I can stay in Brighton and Hove and just do what I've been doing and take this guy out comfortably. So I'll be staying in England.
Chris Jr., following on from the gentleman's question there, would you have preferred to have more, or you say you're fighting on the 25th to gain more experience and be fighting, what would you have preferred if the public pressure wasn't there to maybe take this fight a year down the line? You feel that you're
There's no pressure.
now?
I don't feel any pressure. Like I said, we do things when we want to do things, and I want to fight him on the 29th, so that's when it's happening. It's my time is now. It's my time now.
Was this fight on the 25th agreed before talks began for Billy Joe Saunders?
No, it was all basically, it's all part of the contract. That's what, to get this fight together, we had to do a lot of things that I would not normally do as a promoter. But Bill wanted to fight, young Chris wanted to fight, and it was a matter of making sure it happened, and I've made sure it happened.
The only reason that the press conference is happening today to talk about the fight between Billy Joe Saunders and Chris Eubank Jr. is the fact that we only got this morning it sanctioned by the Boxing Board of Control. That only happened this morning, so by contract we weren't able to talk about it before. That's why we haven't been to the press conferences. As I said before, we're not running away from him, we are running to him, but we want to do it properly and legally. We're not being forced and we're not being ran into anything. We're doing everything by the book.
But was the fight on the 25th? Was there any hope of maybe pushing that forward, like earlier on one of your cards?
Sorry, say it again.
The fight is happening on the 25th of October. Was there no chance of maybe Chris fighting on one of your shows?
No, that's what it is. That's what he wants. That's where we are. You know, Bill was very disappointed the way this is dragged on, and it has dragged on, and some of it's totally unnecessary, irrespective of what Chris is saying.
No, it can't be irrespective of the contract.
Can you let I'll let you speak. So let me speak.
Sure.
Okay. That's what happens when you're co-promoting. You speak. You take charges.
Sure.
Right. So the fact of the matter is, it was a headache, and it become at times, what are we doing this for? But we're doing it for the fans. So we've done it to make sure it happened. The British title fight was always going to be on the line because it was a matter of me dealing with Mick Hennessy. But it was pointless me dealing with Mick Hennessy over Blackwell until we knew where we were with Chris. Otherwise, I've had to pay people to ensure this fight's happened. Pay step-aside money to people, and it's a bit galling to have to do that. If I'd had a bit more cooperation, it would be much easier. But we are where we are. I was determined to get this over the line. Bill wanted it. Young Christopher wanted it, and at the end of the day, we've got it there. So the fight's on, and all I'm saying now, there is no doubt it's signed a contract. There is no doubt it's for the 3 titles. So we want cooperation to make this a success story for everybody who's involved in it. So that everybody gets something out of it as far as what we're doing as promoters.
What have you cleared the XL for on night?
It'll be set up for 20,000. The problem is
There's never been 20,000 in there.
No, it's a rectangle shaped building, and that's the problem. It's not a square building, but it'll be set up for 20,000. And we've sold 13,000 already.
Team Eubank advised Chris Eubank Jr. to let everything be set in contract form, not handshakes and word of mouth and promises, contracts. So that's the reason why we can today talk about Billy Joe Saunders. We couldn't at 9 o'clock this morning. I spoke to Robert Smith, as I said, I spoke to Robert Smith at about 10:30, and he said, we have this morning sanctioned the fight. So I heard it from the man himself, so now we can go forward. So we haven't been running, we haven't been hiding.
But just so everybody knows, the previous fights were handshakes.
British, Commonwealth and European.
The previous fights we had were handshakes. And the word was good enough then, and everything was delivered as per where we are. But anyway, irrespective of that, we've got a fight. It's on. Yeah. I'm looking forward to it. We've got to just make, and I'm telling you, I am going to find the easiest job. So I don't want no one crying after the event who are buying tickets. We are, and I've never said this to a promoter, I'm looking for an easy job. For Chris, I don't know hiccups. I want this fight on the 29th so that we all get what we're craving to see. A great domestic bust-up. We've got 4 of them on this show. 4 fantastic domestic fights. We've got the Chisora Fury fight. We've got Billy Joe and Christopher. We've got Liam Walsh, Gary Sykes. We've got Frankie Gavin and Bradley Skeet. We've got Bullioni and Andrew Robinson. I mean, these are good domestic fights. They're all bill toppers in their own right. And it's a fabulous night for boxing. It's not pay-per-view. It's subscription. It's 12 quid. Sorry?
Was there any other temptation to make it?
No. It's not paid. And if you're subscribed that month, if you subscribe for this fight, you're getting that month also Kovalov and what's his name, the Hopkins, great fight. You're getting Manny Pacquiao, all for 12 quid. Yeah, you've got to pay 15 or 20 quid pay-per-view for a non-title fight. These are title fights and proper fights. 12 quid. Thank you for reminding me. That's that. Yeah, exactly. And Terence Crawford as well. How about that? Don't get no better than that as a fight fan. And that's that 12 quid. If you buy 4 boxing newses that month, it's less than buying 4 boxing newses to see them. I'll tell you what, no wonder I'm going skint. Anyway, we've got some good, as I say, great fights, great card, and I'm really looking forward now, everybody working together. I'm looking forward to Bill getting his training done, coming back here so we can do something with him and Christopher. And as I say, this is gonna be a great show. Do not miss it. I think it's going to be one of the best nights for a long, long time in British boxing. So, does anybody want to ask anything else? Go on, mate. Absolutely. But we saved the fight till the 29th. It's a press conference.
So long as you guys are willing to come down to Brighton for the press conference, that's fine.
He's the champion.
Why
Why have we got to go to Brighton? See, here we go again.
Well, don't come.
Here we go again. You're supposed to be a joint... Guys, you're looking forward to going to Brighton.
Brighton has a lovely beach, seaside. Come down and enjoy.
That's why you did so well as a promoter. Right. Crazy. I mean, that's what... So this is the irritating stuff that you get. The European... Sorry, the British and Commonwealth and the Europeans we're going to Brighton because you want it in Brighton. I mean, what respect is that to him as a champion?
We don't need to do a press conference before a week before the fight. In
You
my
don't-
view, Christopher Jr. will be training. Okay, but let's see what happens. Who knows? It's possible. Everything's possible.
Well, I've got to tell you something. If there's no press conferences and we're not doing anything, and if you're calling this being the press conference, then I don't know where I'm at with this, because that is not good enough for me. It's not good enough for the press. It's not good enough for the public. It's wrong, and you know it's wrong. And it's just another demonstration of you being awkward for no reason. It's crazy stuff. Why would you even think about that?
Think about what? Having him come down to Brighton?
Yeah. Why would you even? Why? Not just him. What about the press?
Everything is possible.
What about the press?
Everything is possible.
Yeah. Anyway, I think we're going to wrap this up because I'm going to have to go and get some more anodine. Thanks very much for coming along. Thank you, young Christopher, for coming here today. Appreciate it. Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Ron. All the guys. Thanks very much. See you.